Okay, coming up for auction will be this 1988 BMW M5. The car's had a lot of work done to it by a marquee specialist. What was it, about 2019, I believe? It had a complete engine out service. Rather than me try to go through all the notes, I brought in Mr. M Car. He's from Farmingdale, New Jersey. He owns a business called Mr. M Cars. His name's actually Don Fields. He did all the work on this car. There's an extensive file of notes and photographs. Rather than me try to go through those files and photographs, I brought in Mr. M Car to talk a little bit about the car and the work that's gone into it, and to tell a little bit more about the car, as he knows these cars a lot better than I do. He's probably forgotten more than I'll ever know about BMW M cars. So without any further ado, I'll bring in Don Fields, Mr. M Car.
Good afternoon. I've been brought in once again to talk about a really nice E28 M5. This also was one of my customers' cars. I did see the car a little bit here and there. I've got a little cheat sheet, so you excuse me from looking away, but at about 121,000 miles, the car got a new water pump and radiator. It also got rear subframe bushings replaced. We also did a full inspection too, to include a valve adjustment, new cap and rotor, new spark plugs. It also got new front brake rotors. We'll touch more on front brake rotors in a second here. And then about a year and a half later, he didn't put very many miles on this car. Car was at around 122,000 and change miles. And he was complaining about that the car didn't seem to have the pep it should. This does have a very popular California tuner. He's been around for a long time. It's got a 3.8 liter stroker motor in it. His complaint was that he just felt that it wasn't giving enough power. We did a lot of testing. We did a lot of looking with a borescope, endoscope. We looked inside, and it was time for the motor to have a refresh. Took the motor completely out, rebuilt the whole front end of the motor with new timing chains, rollers, all of the bearings and tensioners. Insofar as the bottom end goes, it got all new bearings. The connecting rods were reconditioned both on the small end and the big end. Also, the pistons, because they were rather unique to the car and the bore ended up being a little bit too tight, each piston was carefully measured and each cylinder was honed and a proper clearance was attained. And at that point, it got new rings which were also custom fitted, and it let the bottom end of the motor run the way it should. The cylinder head was removed and it was completely rebuilt with brand new valve guides, new seals of course, and a 33 angle valve job. The engine also has a set of later E34 M5 camshafts in it. Unfortunately, because the stock cam gears are non-adjustable, the desirable cam timing just couldn't be achieved, so the car had proper mid-range. In order to bring it back to its proper mid-range, we put in a set of adjustable cam gears and we dialed in the camshafts, intake and exhaust for the proper centerline split. Once that was done, the car really ran well. We lost probably about 3 or 4 horsepower at the top end, but we gained easily another 30 plus foot-pounds that was missing initially from the mid-range. Car runs really well. As you can see, it's pretty clean. It's been pretty well serviced. As we always inspect for, all of the hoses and the clamps and everything are all 100% correct. If you come over here and you have a look, it also has aftermarket camber plates fitted with the factory rubber bushings so that there's not much noise, but it gives you about another 3/4 of a degree in negative camber, so this way that the car handles well. Also fitted on here is a nice Racing Dynamics strut bar that keeps the front end nice and tight. And if we come around to the front over here, you'll see it's got the benefit of the European style bumpers and also the larger, small, high and low beam headlamps. Looking around over here, it's got these lovely 3-piece wheels which are very well preserved and they're in nice shape. Getting back to the brake rotor conversation I was talking about earlier, the front has been the recipient of a brake upgrade, and it has the 850 CSI single piston calipers, but they're much larger, and it's also got the 850 CSI brakes. Coming back around to the rear here, it's also been the beneficiary of the European style rear bumper and valance, which really makes the car stand off very nice. It gives so much more of a pleasant look than those big ugly quote unquote diving boards.
Ready, set.
So we come into the inside of the car, and as you can see, everything is nice and clean and everything is fitted correctly. There's no monkey work going on here. And also a big problem with these cars are the dashboards. If you'll notice, this dashboard is in perfect shape. The car's been kept inside and it's still soft and supple, so you shouldn't have any problems there.
So that's our 1988 BMW M5. I want to thank Don Field, Mr. M Car, for coming out and talking about all the work that's gone into this car for the current owner.
You're more than welcome.
And this car will be coming up for auction on Bring a Trailer. The owner had a great time with the car. He just doesn't have the time anymore to enjoy it. And look forward to meeting the next new owner. This car will be selling on Bring a Trailer, and I want to wish everyone the best of luck. And a special thanks to Don, Mr. M Car of Farmingdale, New Jersey. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.